and find out for yourself why we're engineered to amaze.
A new investigation is out on the worst terror attack on U.S. soil since 9/11, and it suggests that important clues may have been missed, clues that might have prevented the massacre at Fort Hood in Texas more than 2 years ago. CNN's national security correspondent Suzanne Kelly is joining us. She's got the latest details. Suzanne, what are you learning?
Right, Wolf. Well, the report casts a really critical eye on what signals were missed or just not communicated. Signals that might have prompted a closer look at Major Nidal Hasan. Now, inside the 173-page declassified version of the report are hints at what went wrong. The report includes the email exchanges between Hasan and radical cleric Anwar al-Awlaki, an al-Qaeda recruiter. He was killed last year, you remember, Wolf, in a drone strike in Yemen. Now, Hasan had visited al-Awlaki's website and sent the cleric an email saying it was logical to justify suicide bombings. The report also shows that an FBI analyst in San Diego labeled that email exchange not a product of interest and not pertinent. Now, in response to a request by the San Diego unit to go and question Hasan, one agent recounted a conversation for investigators, saying, "This is not San Diego, it's D.C., and the Washington field office doesn't go out and interview every Muslim guy who visits extremist websites. Besides," the response continues, "this guy has legitimate work-related reasons to be going to these sites and engaging extremists in dialogue. Washington field office does not assess this guy as a terrorism threat." Now, you'll remember, Wolf, that Hasan was a military psychiatrist. It shows you just how complicated it is in figuring out what leads to follow.
So, Suzanne, what else do we know about whether there was any indication ahead of time that Hasan may have been planning an attack?
Well, we know that investigators were monitoring Hasan's email account in the weeks before the 2009 shootings, and the report found that based on his email exchanges, there was no actionable evidence that Hasan was actually planning an attack. But the report did say that sharing the information that the FBI had with Hasan's bosses at the Department of Defense would have been appropriate and consistent with FBI guidelines. Now, Congressman McCaul, who has been briefed on the classified version of this report, said that earlier he was disappointed in the FBI's handling of the case.
Having worked in the Justice Department, the way the FBI handled this information, not sharing it with the commander at Fort Hood, who they knew they had a man talking to al-Awlaki in Yemen, a known terrorist, probably the most wanted terrorist in the world, yet this information wasn't reported to Fort Hood.
Now, Wolf, this report makes 18 recommendations, but the investigators decided not to suggest any disciplinary action. As for Nidal Hasan, he's currently awaiting court-martial. That's expected to begin next month. And if he's found guilty, he could face the death penalty.
Suzanne Kelly with the latest on that front. Thanks very, very much. Let's go back to Kate. She's got some other news. What else is going on?